Behind the bustling sets of the newly trending historical drama, the atmosphere hummed with an electric mix of exhaustion, laughter, and high-stakes professionalism. Zhang Ling stood near the edge of the courtyard set, dressed in heavy period robes that layered weight upon his shoulders as he tried to mentally rehearse his upcoming emotional monologue. Wang Churan sat gracefully on a carved wooden bench a few feet away, delicately holding a traditional hand fan while reviewing her script lines with intense, quiet focus. The director's voice suddenly boomed through the open-air studio, calling for all the main cast members to assemble on the central stage for a quick, impromptu blocking rehearsal before the golden hour faded. Ling turned quickly to catch up with the rest of the crew, his long strides carrying him swiftly across the uneven gravel pathway without paying close enough attention to his immediate surroundings. At that exact moment, Churan had risen from her bench to join the formation, turning around to pick up a dropped prop pouch just as Ling crossed her path. Before either of them could react to the sudden convergence, Linghe's forward momentum caused him to stumble slightly, his hand reaching out instinctively to steady his balance in the crowded space. Instead of grabbing the wooden pillar he aimed for, his hand grazed forward, accidentally capturing Churan's outstretched hand in a firm yet completely unintended grip that brought an abrupt halt to his stride. The unexpected physical contact sent a jolt of surprise through both actors, causing Ling to freeze instantly with his eyes widening in sheer disbelief at what had just transpired. Churan gasped softly, her cheeks flushing a sudden, vibrant shade of crimson as she looked down at their intertwined hands before lifting her gaze to meet Linghe's stunned expression. For a breathless second, the ambient noise of the entire film crew seemed to fade completely into the background, leaving only the startled silence between the two leading stars. Ling immediately pulled his hand back as if touched by fire, stumbling backward a half-step while tripping over the heavy hem of his elaborate costume robes in his flustered state. "I am so sorry. I honestly didn't mean to do that, I completely lost my footing," Ling blurted out, bowing his head repeatedly as embarrassment radiated visibly across his face. Churan offered a shy, nervous chuckle, tucking a stray lock of hair behind her ear while trying to regain her composure amidst the sudden flurry of awkward tension. "It's completely fine, Ling, I know you were just rushing to make it to the mark," Churan replied softly, her voice still trembling slightly from the sheer unexpectedness of the moment. Just as the lingering awkwardness threatened to settle heavily over the two actors, a bright, familiar burst of laughter echoed sharply from the archway leading into the courtyard. Tian Xiwei bounced into the scene with boundless energy, wearing a vibrant, contrasting costume that instantly drew every eye in the vicinity toward her lively entrance. Well, what kind of romantic drama scene am I walking in on right now?" Xiwei teased loudly, clapping her hands together with a playful, mischievous grin plastered across her face. Ling let out a groan of mock defeat, rubbing the back of his neck as he realized his clumsy mishap had now attracted the most theatrical spectator on the entire production team. Churan couldn't help but laugh out loud at Shui's impeccable timing, her initial embarrassment instantly melting away into amusement as the playful atmosphere returned in full force. "Xiwei, please, do not start, it was a complete accident and gravity was clearly plotting against me today," Ling protested with a dramatic sigh, playing along with the light-hearted teasing. Xiwei skipped right up to them, her eyes sparkling with pure mischief as she dramatically mimicked holding a camera up to her face like an overzealous paparazzi reporter. "An accident, in broad daylight, on a public set filled with 50 crew members. My dear co-star, the tabloids are going to have a field day with this headline tomorrow morning," Xiwei joked. Churan shook her head playfully, stepping forward to gently nudge Shui's shoulder while trying to suppress the wide smile threatening to break across her face. "Stop making things up out of thin air, or I will make sure the director gives you an extra 5 pages of weeping dialogue in tomorrow's script," Churan retorted with mock severity. Xiwei gasped dramatically, placing a hand over her heart in mock horror before breaking into another fit of bright, infectious laughter that echoed warmly across the historic courtyard. The brief moment of panic and awkwardness was entirely forgotten, replaced instead by the genuine camaraderie and lighthearted bond shared among the three young stars of the series. Ling exhaled a long breath of relief, silently thanking Shui's impeccable, albeit chaotic, timing for saving him from what felt like the longest 3 seconds of his career. The assistant director clapped his hands loudly from across the stage, shattering the playful interlude and reminding everyone that the cameras were about to roll for real. "All right everyone, break up the comedy club and get back to your positions. We are rolling in 30 seconds. The assistant director shouted over the mounting chatter of the crew. Xiwei winked conspiratorially at both Linghe and Churan before spinning on her heel and skipping toward her designated mark on the opposite side of the sprawling outdoor set. Linghe turned his head toward Churan, offering a reassuring, apologetic smile that silently conveyed his hope that there were no hard feelings left from the clumsy collision. Churan returned the smile warmly, adjusting the folds of her silk garments as she stepped smoothly into character, her professional composure returning instantly as the lights focused on her. As the director finally called for action, all three actors slipped effortlessly into their respective roles, completely transforming from a group of joking friends into deeply emotional dramatic performers. Yet, beneath the solemn expressions and dramatic dialogue required by the script, a faint trace of shared amusement lingered quietly in the corners of their eyes. The cameras captured every subtle nuance of the scene, but no lens could possibly document the internal panic, the sudden flush of heat, or the comical interruption that had just unfolded. By the time the director yelled cut and signaled the end of the take, the entire courtyard erupted into casual chatter as the cast and crew broke for a much-needed rest. Linghe walked back toward the shaded rest area, shaking his head at the unpredictable nature of working on a high-energy production alongside unpredictable colleagues like Xiwei. Churan joined him near the water station shortly after, holding a small script book in her hand and wearing an expression that suggested she was ready to resume their earlier teasing. "So, Linghe, are we going to practice your fancy hand-holding techniques again before the night shoot starts, or should I wear protective gloves next time?" Xiwei called out from afar. Linghe laughed heartily, tossing a wrapped snack gently in Shui's direction while shaking his head at her relentless teasing that showed no signs of stopping anytime soon. The afternoon sun slowly dipped below the horizon, casting a warm, amber glow over the ancient architectural set and painting. The sky in stunning shades of orange and purple. Despite the physical exhaustion of long working hours and the intense pressure of delivering flawless performances, the set remained a place filled with laughter, support, and unexpected joy. Incidents like a clumsy hand-grabbling mishap usually caused awkwardness, but in this tight-knit cast, it simply served as another memorable anecdote to bond over during grueling filming schedules. As the crew prepared the lighting rigs for the evening sequence, the three actors gathered around a portable heater to keep warm against the dropping nighttime temperatures. Linghe reflected quietly on how quickly a stressful moment could turn into a cherished memory when surrounded by friends who knew how to lighten the heaviest of moods. Churan sipped warm tea from her thermos, listening amusedly as Xiwei continued to weave an increasingly exaggerated and absurd fictional story about the accidental hand kiss. The camaraderie between the trio was a rare and precious find in the fast-paced entertainment industry, where genuine friendships often struggled to survive under the heavy weight of fame. Every shared laugh and playful jab served to strengthen their working dynamic, ensuring that their on-screen chemistry felt entirely natural, effortless, and deeply authentic to viewers. When the call came for the final night scene of the day, Linghe stood up with renewed energy, stepping onto the illuminated stage alongside Churan with absolute confidence. The cameras rolled once more into the quiet night, capturing the rich emotional depth of the drama without a single trace of the afternoon's comedic chaos interfering with the art. Yet, beneath the surface of the grand historical epic they were creating, the human moments, the accidental touches, the teasing laughter, and the unexpected appearances, remained the true heart of the journey. As the production finally wrapped for the evening and the crew began packing away their heavy gear, Linghe looked back one last time at the courtyard where the unforgettable moment had occurred. Walking side by side toward their waiting vans under the cool night sky, the trio chatted about plans for the next day's scenes with bright anticipation for what lay ahead. The viral video of the accidental hand touch and Shui's sudden appearance would undoubtedly spark a frenzy online the next morning, but for now, they were simply tired actors enjoying a quiet, peaceful end to a long day.